Hi, my name is Sahand. I am 13 years old. I live in San Jose, California, and I am here to tell you guys my story of challenges that I've faced over the past few years. Okay, so when I was around, I want to say 11 years old, I experienced some strange changes to me, some strange symptoms like stomach aches, headaches, and ankle pains, the whole 9 yards. It was kind of strange at first because you're like, what's going on? But then the doctors didn't even know what was going on until over the summer in June of my 5th grade year. They figured out through a spinal tap that it was Guillain Barré Syndrome. But I went through every single doctor in the medical field and none of them could figure out what's going on to me. Things that I kind of had to stop due to this was my favorite sport, soccer. I used to do karate at Ernie Reyes West Coast Martial Arts School. Just physical education at school, stuff like that. And once they diagnosed me, I had to stay in the hospital for 5 days, not 5 years, to be able to get treatment to stop the damage, I want to say, to the nerves. And then, but apparently that wasn't enough because I had a relapse after the hospital and it got worse. Whereas when I went to the Mayo Clinic in Minnesota during that same summer, they said that I had to be on it for more than 5 days. But the doctors in San Jose said 5 days is the maximum required. So, yeah. This came as a shock to me because I had to give up several things. I wasn't used to being in that type of situation, and it was just like I would think to myself, what's going on? Am I in a dream? Am I sleeping? Is it a nightmare? What is it? So it was a very unusual thing, I want to say.
Sandra, tell me about, so what happened? What couldn't you do? You were obviously functional, you could do stuff, but you couldn't walk anymore? Is that what happened?
I could walk, but just not, I had to use assistance, like a walker, and like, I would have to hold on to my mom to walk, or like,
right.
I couldn't go to school 6th grade, for my 6th grade year because it was at the peak of the illness, so I had teachers coming to my house to teach me the subjects that I need to learn and all that.
And when did you start using a wheelchair?
There wasn't really a specific time that I started. It's just like every time I would get the IV treatment, the hospital requirements were that you had to be wheelchaired out just for safety. So after that, when we went to Minneapolis, my uncle Iraj had one, and he lent it to me to use to be able to get around easier.
How was that? Was that difficult for you to use that? Was it hard to go to school or just get around?
Well, my 7th grade year, I used it at school, and it was difficult to get through some of the classrooms and everything, but I mean, it's a terrible thing, a wheelchair. And then like during my 6th grade year, I would go, of course, grocery shopping and everything with my mom because I would be at home. So I would be like, if we would go to Costco, I would be on the motorized carts and everything. That was fun and bad at the same time. But yeah.
I can imagine. So Sandra, tell me about your family, and maybe how supportive they were, or because I'm sure this was a toll on your family too.
They were very supportive throughout the figuring out process, the hospital process, everything. They've just been there for me whenever needed, especially my immediate family and my uncles and cousins and aunts and everyone.
Right.
It's just been great.
Tell me more about your mom and dad.
Well, my dad is a engineer. He is the maker of computer wafers and all that stuff. My mom does home staging and a lot of school teacher appreciation type of stuff. So she's very involved with the teachers and school staff and everything, which makes it easier for us because we have a closer relationship with the teachers than other students do.
And how important was their role in your recovery?
Very important. The day that I went to the ER, which was the day I got diagnosed to take the spinal tab, I was frustrated at my mom for like saying, "Oh, you brought me here, this is your fault," and everything. But I didn't mean it because I didn't know what was going on either. So they did things that I never thought would be helpful.
How about your younger brother? You have a younger brother?
Yeah, he's amazing, crazy. He's just awesome. He cheers me up. He beats me up. I beat him up. It hasn't been easy for him either, but we have a close relationship. Well, recently, around almost half a year ago, every time I go to Minneapolis, it's pretty much where all of my mom's side of the family lives. I always seem to let go of something and then have kind of a fresh start. Like first it was the walker. I used the walker before. The second time it was a wheelchair. So I kind of decided to be able to walk on my own, just kind of to get back into things and kind of live life the way it was meant to be lived, how I was before. So, yeah.
So Sandra, what do you give your persistence and your desire to get better? How did you keep your attitude so positive? What made you go?
Well, I thought if I had a negative attitude, I wouldn't get anywhere. I kept thinking, if I want to get back, start running and all that stuff, you have to want it more than anything.
But you had an option to be sad too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could have pouted and be angry, but were you angry at all of anything? Did you think like, why me? Why did it happen to me?
Sometimes, but that kind of just, in my opinion, designates certain people. God probably thought, I think of this as God's test for me in life, or like everyone has a bump in life, and this was mine apparently.
Right, and it happened to you at such a young age. What do you think the blessing has been?
Well, I have a faster recovery. I mean, youth, I still have a lot in me, whereas if this happened to an elderly, it'll be a much harder recovery process because they wouldn't be as active or anything.
Right. What would you say to other kids, the people your age who've gone through something similar, or they might go through something like that? What would you tell them?
Don't stop like what you're doing. Just keep pushing hard.
So don't stop what you're doing just because you have a physical challenge.
Yeah.
Right, you keep going. Right. Wonderful. Did you have any special friends and stuff in doing this whole thing?
I did actually. It kind of designated, or kind of separated my true friends from just my friends.
Right.
True friends were people that visited me in the hospital. They were just like, they kept in touch and everything. And then my friends were people I would hang out with at school that I didn't have as close of a relationship with.
So when all this stuff was going on, were you ever scared?
Yeah, because I didn't know what was going on inside of me. It was just a rapid change.
What was the first thing that you noticed about yourself that you couldn't do?
Well, it was harder for me to play soccer. Like, I would keep getting ankle pains, like, if I ran maybe, like, 5 minutes. It would kick in and it would just destroy me.
And you had no idea what was going on with you, right?
So it was...
But your mom knew, right? Did your mom knew?
My mom knew that the doctors did not have a correct diagnosis of what's happening.
Right. So there were moments that you felt maybe scared and you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did it affect other parts of your body too than your leg?
I would get headaches, stomach aches, just overall pain in several areas.
And how is it now?
I don't get that pain anymore. It's kind of like, well, the doctors like to put it as, it started from leg and it worked its way up. Now it's going from head down, so it's going the opposite direction.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool. I know that you swim, and you used to love swimming, and hopefully one of these days you'll get back into it again. But tell me about the whole swimming thing.
Well, I was one of the fastest swimmers in my age group in our local league. And then during the process of the doctors trying to figure out what's going on, I became one of the slowest swimmers. And also I would have mood swings and everything. Like, I became very short-tempered and dry, and it was just a mess.
And this is all because of the illness?
Yes.
But did you know in that time that's what was going on with you, or that was not diagnosed yet?
No, it wasn't diagnosed.
So the coaches, were they wondering what's going on, and
Yeah, they were. In fact, the day that I was diagnosed, one of the days that I was in the hospital, my swim team had a swim meet, and what they did is they had a poster and said, "Get well soon, Sahand," and all my fellow teammates were signing it and everything, so it was cool.